What in the dickens is going on around here?
And who was driving it?
I don't know.
Curtis! It's coming after us! What is going on?
I don't know!
You want a war? You got one.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man.
We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Jesus coming and he is.
Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Dino De Laurentiis presents Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
Welcome to They Called Us a Movie, testing the strength of friendships one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and on podcast services by searching They Called Us a Movie, and find us on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram at TCTAM Pod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Called Us a Movie. This is Anthony Delvecchio. With me, as always, is Dan Aquino and Mark Meyer. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hey, friends.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if it's because I actually had a little bit of fun watching this movie or that the weather's getting slightly warmer, but, you know, I all of a sudden found my brain, like, switched to, like, baseball mode, like, in, like, the last couple days. You know, I don't know if all those things are connected or if I like the movie we watched, but it's just been a weird week in terms of, I go from a person, and you guys have your own houses, so you're going to hate me when I say this statement. I'm a guy that really likes a big snowfall, especially now that I don't have to shovel it. So I found myself like last week going, you know what? I want it to get warmer. I'm assuming that's me getting older, maybe, but it's just been a weird week here. Just all of a sudden, my brain just flipped.
Mark, it's not about you getting older. It's been cold since November. It's starting to get stay lighter later. Football season's over. You probably had the same feeling in 2024. You had the same feeling in 2023, and so on. It's just the light at the end of the tunnel. When I used to work in New York, the most special day of all the year is that first time when you get out at 5 o'clock on the dot and it is still light out. It is the most magical day of the year.
That is
because there's hope. That's what you're filled with. You're filled with hope, despite all the bullshit that is currently going on in this world.
I was just going to say,
specifically to about 400 million people in this world, there's hope, and that's just a slightly warm weather for 2 straight days. light that you can enjoy at a normal time of day where you're awake. That's what it is.
I was telling some of my friends about how, like, these kind of things, I cling to, like, wreckage in the storm, where I desperately need these little small things that go well for us, or else I will lose my goddamn mind.
I grilled this week.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's entirely too early. It's still not even March yet. But you know what? Over 50 degrees, hamburgers and hot dogs time.
We're out there, baby.
Yeah. My wife went to me the other day. She's like, I'm tired of our winter food. It's like, I know. I can't wait to grill.
It reminded me of that scene from The Wire where Stringer Bell talks about how 30-degree days, 40-degree days, no one's outside. 50-degree days, now we're talking. 60-degree days, everyone's out cooking. Like, that's what we're getting towards, that 60-degree days where everyone will be out. You'll feel that joy kind of coming back, like Anthony said.
Yeah.
And Mark, I think Mark just discovered seasons.
Yeah. Specifically, seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
I was.
This happens every year. Just so you know, just prepare yourself for next year.
Oh man,
You're gonna
so
be
excited for next year.
I can't wait till he discovers what June weather's like.
Oh no,
This is Mark's Twilight.
yeah, I know.
Is he
I don't
sundowning? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I know what he's saying.
Where I know nothing about Twilight. I can't remember anything. Mark just doesn't remember the seasons.
I'm starting to think that this last decade of a month might have made me forgot what I felt in 2024.
Entirely possible.
Yeah. It does feel as if we've gone in a rapid pace this month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the funny part is that I will oddly enough have the opposite feeling in August because I'm a man that sweats a lot, and when that weather gets too high, I'm like, God damn it, I wish it was snowing.
No, I hate snow. By the way, I'm not a fan. Never have been. Never will be.
Yeah, I think it all, and this might be also the seasonal thing, disorder. But my mindset on what I want the weather to be like outside is completely proportionate to how I'm feeling that day. If I'm really cold, it's like I can't wait for be a little warmer, and then when I'm sweating terribly when it's 100 degrees, I'm like thinking of snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not one of those people that love the heat.
Yeah, I don't mind the snow, and that's partially because when we moved into this house, I shoveled my driveway once, and at the end of it, I said, "What the hell am I doing? I work from home." And from then on, I have not shoveled my driveway since then. Because that's a long goddamn driveway. You guys know my driveway. It's a long fucking driveway. And it's all rocks too. There's nothing more pointless than shoveling a gravel driveway.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
You can't. I think it's almost impossible. I agree with you there. For me, I am too paranoid that someone will slip and fall and I'll lose my house. So, as soon as I can, I am out there shoveling.
We don't have sidewalks.
Yeah. You guys figured it out. You got a nice little corner lot with no.
Talk to me about figuring it out when summer comes and I'm mowing that lawn for 2 hours.
Yeah, the give and take.
Yeah.
yeah. It is what it is. But Mark, welcome to almost spring.
Yeah, welcome to the fake spring.
Yeah,
right. Then it's going to drop next week. So
of course. It happens every year. There's always that 1 week in February where it gets a little warm. You think it's here to stay, and it never is.
Someone that I knew in college did the AccuWeather stuff up in State College has this chart. I wish I could find it, but I think he has it on the Hell site. That's like all the seasons in America, in Philadelphia, and it's like you said, it's like first winter, and then fall, spring, second winter, and just like things like that, and then little jokes like that 1 week in March when it's 80 for no reason.
and you think like, this is it, we're here, we finally made it, and then the next 2 days are like 50 degrees, 40 degrees.
Yeah, but it's just this chart. It's like 15 or 16 seasons of Philadelphia. Yeah, but I gotta find it. But yeah, it was every time this happens, it just makes me like, when we start changing, the weather changes for a little bit, my mind immediately goes to, I wonder where we are on that chart.
All right. Well, while Mark is discovering weather, we watched a movie this week, and I think this was actually Mark's pick.
It was my pick.
So, Mark, why don't you introduce this week's movie?
Yeah, so oddly enough, I had never seen this movie before, despite everything about it and surrounding it should have been something I was made aware of growing up, with all the people in my family that just loved Brat Pack movies. So this week, we chose Maximum Overdrive, 1986 movie, I believe written and directed by Stephen King from his short story. I think it's like Truck or something like that. And I had seen this pop up on, I think I was looking through either Amazon or Tubi, because it's on both. And it was one of the first advertisements because of all the bullshit we've watched on both of those services. And I immediately read the synopsis, that is about trucks that come to life, and terrorize these people in a gas station. And I was like, yes, instant. put us on the list. And then I started talking to a bunch of the people that I work with that also like to discuss the movies we watch. And they all were surprised that I had not seen this before. And I have to say, I really did enjoy it. I did laugh out loud a few times. I feel that I may be the lone person out here that actually did enjoy it, but yeah, I'm not going to try and couch my excitement. I did have some fun with it. There were some slow moments, but I think I was having more fun at how much Emilio Estevez was taking this movie seriously when it wasn't that serious. And on the flip side, how much I don't think Yeardley Smith was taking it seriously. And just basically making sure that her voice pierced through every time she spoke in this movie. And it was just, there were just so many insane situations that happened, and either bad editing choices that, you know, things happen off camera or in another scene that got cut. And then all of a sudden you're at another moment. But I had fun. It was really stupid idea. I love a good villain that gets his comeuppance at one point. But yeah, it's a very much a B movie that I could watch pieces of if it was on cable. I'm not going to go as far as say I would love it and watch it anytime, like start to finish when I see it on. But it does have enough of the moments. It very much falls into the, before I hear what you guys think, it very much falls into the Tremors category for me, in that if I see Tremors on, I will watch it until, like, if we're still doing cable and not streaming, until like first or second commercial break, and let's see what else is on. But it will hold me at least for a chunk of time if it's the right part of the movie. And I very much feel like this is in that vein. And I did enjoy my time watching it.
Maximum Overdrive from 1986 is directed by Stephen King from his short story Trucks. I believe there was a Canadian miniseries or made-for-TV version of Trucks! ! Starring Timothy Busfield. This was Stephen King's only directed movie because he was so high on cocaine he doesn't remember making this movie at all.
That makes sense.
It's just kind of every Stephen King story from anything he did in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Stars Emilio Estevez, Pat Hingle, Laura Harrington, Yeardley Smith, John Short, Ellen McKelduff, J.C. Quinn, Christopher Murney, Holter Graham, and Frankie Faison. IMDb score of 5.4. Rotten Tomatoes 14%. Budget $10 million. Box office $7.4 million. And the plot: Stephen King takes too much cocaine and tries to adapt his own short story into an hour and 38-minute film, which results in the audience getting trapped in a truck stop with the least charismatic Estevez, other than Joe. When a comet passes close to Earth, it awakens all the machines and sends them on a killing spree, trapping a group of survivors at the Dixie Boy truck stop. Watch as the film struggles to justify its runtime, meander through the second act, and gives you too much Yeardley Smith. Dan, where are you coming from? Maximum Overdrive.
All right, guys. This might be a hot take, but Maximum Overdrive sucks. Big time. It's one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time.
Wow.
I clocked out, I want to say probably after the bridge scene, when they just had a couple people fall through the cracks of the bridge, and then...
So like 8 minutes in.
Yeah, and then like Yeardley Smith comes in and she doesn't stop screaming constantly and just doesn't shut the hell up. As much as I love Yeardley Smith, she's a part of my childhood. She helped me, get through tough times on The Simpsons. Easily the worst part of this movie is Yeardley Smith. And there are so many bad parts in this movie. My main takeaways from Maximum Overdrive: not scary at all. The usage of AC/DC as your soundtrack, terrible choice. It does not fit the motif of the movie. You're going for a horror theme, but you have a rock band playing, for those about to rock, we salute you. That has nothing to do with horror. Poor choice there. It breaks its own rules in a couple moments of the movie. Like the premise is basically a comet goes over Earth, it travels over Earth, and we're stuck in its tail, right? The comet's tail, and it causes machines to take on a mind of their own, and they start killing humans. So it's almost, and it has some interesting ideas. I think the premise is interesting. The setting is terrible. In a gas station, that's so stupid. I hated the setting. You could have found a better setting, I think, like a hardware store or somewhere with a lot of machines where you're surrounded by machines that are a little bit more deadly. And some of the objects in the movie are not machines, or they're not gas powered or electrical. Like they're sprinklers that go on and off. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think sprinklers are gas powered, or they're not electric, right? Like the ones that are tied to the hose, they run off of water, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, if it's a sprinkler system, there's got to be some sort of electric kick to it,
right? But
if it's automatic, if it's not one of the, you're not talking about like one of those trains. This is also a very minor part of the film, Dan. I don't know if you're getting too hung up on something that's super minor, because I don't even remember this.
Yeah, but my other one was the machine gun on the army car.
Mm-hmm.
The machine gun is, again, it's not electrical, it's not gas powered. What is pulling the trigger?
But it was attached to the car, which was gas powered.
But how does the car pull the trigger? You see, like that, I'm saying my main point is the rules are fast and loose here.
They needed a reason to have the trucks have another way of attacking the humans than running them over.
I think that works perfectly fine. The truck's running people over. There's some interesting kills in this movie where people get run over. A kid gets run over by a steamroller.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which was, I was not expecting, and I wanted more of that, I think. And my last thing before we get into Ant, I will say the line "We made you," I think deserves its spot in history along the other amazing lines in bad movies, such as
Fair is Fair.
Like, you're tearing me apart, Lisa. Fair is Fair does not come close, and that is a much better movie than this. But you're tearing me apart, Lisa. They're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my God! Like that is the kind of level of "we made you." I think that deserves its own little spot in the history of bad movies.
I will say the one thing about that is that I only needed that scene once.
I agree.
Yes.
It's effective the first time because the actor that plays the waitress, she gives such a performance there that, like, that's all you need. Doing it any further is just like, all right, well, now you kind of played it out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can have her build up to that moment and not have it come out of the blue yelling that "we made you." You know, like have her have the discussions like sort of crazy, but not like throughout the movie. And then when Hendershot gets killed, and then she just starts screaming it and going insane and walks out like that. The second moment is the time when it should have happened.
I'm not changing that one bit. That was perfection.
Yeah.
The first time she does it, boom, first take, got it. Moving on.
All right. As for me, I probably fall in somewhere between both of you. I think this is top heavy of a movie. First act, great. Things just jumping off. Loved it. I love the bridge scene was great. The violent soda machine, fantastic.
That was
kids getting pelted with soda cans, being shot out like a gun. Enjoyed that. I really did. And then the second act hit, and talk about wind out of the sails. My God, it really feels like a short story stretched out to a feature length. Really feeling all of that runtime. And I also like the scene where the kid's riding the bike through the devastation. Everybody's like dead in that that was like pretty most suburban town, or like classic kind of Stephen King kind of scene where a kid on a bike, all that kind of stuff. The rocket launcher appears out of nowhere. Enjoy that it's there.
Yep.
And then it kind of disappears again. Kind of disappointing. And then Yeardley Smith. Oof, she was like your go-to. Let's annoy the audience character between this and and the Legend of Billie Jean. Man, she was tapping into something that is just boiling my blood. Is what I could say.
It's something that
Yeah.
wasn't needed.
Yeah.
The whole second act, I think, was so reliant on the main characters having chemistry, and there was zero chemistry between Brett and Billy.
Because Emilio Estevez is a terrible actor.
That's true. He only has one good role. It's Gordon Bombay.
And he's not even that good in that. Despite the fact that he scored on average 16 goals a game or something like that.
Yeah. And his team still win the overtime in a game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think that this movie also doesn't have any good character arcs. All the characters are very bland.
Yeah. You know what? Stephen King made this movie a second time and he made it better. It was called The Mist.
Ooh, The Mist.
That's true. Yeah.
It's essentially the same plot. People are stuck in a store because of something outside. The Mist.
Yeah.
Much better.
I know for some reason The Mist is kind of hot or cold with people. I love The Mist. I think it's a very underrated horror movie.
Yeah,
but
I like The Mist a lot. This movie is not without its charms, but it's really not. It's not an hour and 38-minute movie. It really isn't. It's struggling to get through it.
Yeah, it loses its steam once right after the rocket launcher makes its first appearance.
Yeah, I feel like it dips, and then the rocket launcher brought me back in.
Okay, I can see that.
Sure.
And then it disappears, and then I'm back down to okay, there's still half hour of this movie left, and then we have to go through that whole humiliation fetish scene where Emilio Estevez has to service all these trucks.
The end of the movie is kind of weird.
There is something oddly sexual about them forcing him to fill him up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was...
I think you're right.
I don't know if it's intentional, but there is a dom sub relationship that he winds up having between these trucks and him.
Yeah, especially that one truck that forces him to refill the gas tank.
Yeah.
Pushes him all the way to the gas tank.
It's real phallic.
Yeah.
He's just got to grab it off the end and just pull it.
Yeah. I think one of my weird, just out of nowhere moments is they have that whole scene. I forget exactly what happened in the scene. It's one of this, they're running away from the trucks thing. And then it cuts to all of a sudden, him and Billy and Brett have had sex.
Right. Such an abrupt cut.
I did think, I was did I miss a part where they started to make out?
Yeah.
And and that led to that. I just wasn't paying attention. You know what the problem is with this movie is that the trucks coming to life is the least interesting thing that would come to life.
That's what the
vending machine was fun, right? The vending machine was cool.
Right.
The
lawnmower.
The
arcade.
The arcade would have been really cool. Yeah. Can opener going crazy or something.
I think it would be interesting to see this movie from different perspectives more, instead of just us being stuck in a gas station with a group of losers.
Yeah, stuck at a Best Buy.
Yeah, right. Where machines are more diverse.
Yeah,
and we're not just stuck with cars or
printers. You got printers and laptops.
Yeah. That'd be so fun. I think you could really do something flat inch TVs or flat screen TVs.
I know it was his cameo in the movie. I believe it was his cameo, but the ATM calling him an asshole.
Yeah.
Was one of the loudest laughs that I've had in the movie.
Yeah. Those are the fun things, because trucks, they just run them over, and then one shoots a gun that's tied to it.
Yeah.
But that's I want to see a print. I think I could hold my own against a printer though, because I've worked with plenty of printers and they never work right properly when they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So what would happen, Ant, is it would say that there's a paper jam.
So
you would go to reach in to get the paper out, and then it just chews your hand.
Yes.
It mangles your whole arm, and you just die from shock.
Yeah.
That's something I would like to see. Not you dying from
No.
shock. Just
You'd
maybe
watch that movie.
I would watch that movie. Yeah, Pat Hingle reaching in to get a paper jam fixed, and then he just gets his arm chewed off.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch that.
Speaking of, I took me like most of the movie to realize no one's name was Bubba. That he was just calling everyone Bubba Hendershot.
Yeah,
I thought he was Bubba.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he announces himself on the phone as Bubba, but he also calls Emilio Estevez Bubba.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just his way of calling people.
Yeah, like sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only learned the waitress's name at the end when she's about to go out, and he goes, Wanda!
Oh, yeah. I don't really know any of their names, to be honest.
Wanda June,
yeah.
They were just so bland. I didn't care to learn their names.
There was that one guy, he runs out from the back of the, like, after a while, he's got like this really bright neon green shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea who that guy was until like, is this a new character? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah. There's like multiple guys there that I could have sworn they had like two different conversations going on, and one guy was in both conversations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like right before the we made them scene, the first one, when they're talking in the gas station there, and it's like, it sort of goes from one to the other, and then she ends it by going outside. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think I had a lot more fun in the first half, and it carried me through the rest of the movie, probably more than it sounds like. Definitely Dan.
Yeah.
Dan didn't even make it through the part that I was literally close to really getting to a cry laughing state with when the bridge scenes, because it was just some of the dumbest like, I guess, character extra acting or whatever, like the guy that gets out of the car and then falls on the watermelons.
That's when I kind of checked out. I was like, all right, this is so dumb right now.
I was having a ball with that.
I can't take this seriously, and it's supposed to be a horror movie, and you have a guy just doing pratfalls into watermelons.
I think that might be maybe not the issue. I'm not trying to give you an excuse to try to why you didn't like it. But I think I went in more expecting a really dumb trucks coming to life movie more than even a horror movie.
Yeah. Had you not seen this, Dan?
No, I have seen it, not in its entirety, but I've seen enough reviews of it I knew the general plot of it. I knew the characters. I knew what happens essentially, but seeing it in its entirety, I didn't get the same I didn't pick up on the same charms that you were talking about, Ant. Like you were saying that the kid riding through the suburbs and seeing the carnage. It didn't feel Stephen King to me. It didn't write itself Stephen King. Like the dialogue wasn't Stephen King. You know what I mean? Like just a lot of people cursing at each other, calling each other like fuckhead, and like southern southern slang and stuff like that. Like, yeah, this doesn't feel Stephen King-ish to me. Like, and I think this movie was probably more like the making of the movie was more interesting than the movie itself. Where
you can't ask Stephen King that. He has no idea.
But I feel like everyone was probably miserable on the set.
Yeah, probably.
Right, because if your director is just coked up to the gills, that can't make for an easy work.
A first-time director at that too.
Right, yeah. And I'm sure everyone knew Stephen King at this point, right? Prolific writer. So it's like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Like, this guy has no clue what he's doing. He's showing up high as a kite every day. None of this makes sense, and it shows.
Yeah,
I got kind of excited and then disappointed when I saw that it was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Your favorite?
Yeah. I was
any One Tree Hill references to?
No, there
to Maximum Overdrive.
No, there's I only saw really of what I know of Wilmington, like 2 scenes in it, and because a lot like where that truck stop and all is at this point may have been like built upon, since in the 20 years or so, 21 years between this movie and when I was in Wilmington. But but yeah, I was. But I did. The one thing I did recognize in a weird way was the road that Yeardley Smith's character was on, that highway when they got chased down by the truck. I was like, oh, I recognize that, and I was trying to figure out which I thought it was 85. But I wasn't 100% sure, and then like the mile marker comes up, but it's kind of hard to search that on Google to see what area of North Carolina is mile 399. But yeah, I was a little more like, I would like to have at least gone past some of the things, even if it's not like things that pop up on Hill, just things that I had drove around in the 8 weeks that I was in the city. But yeah, that was the one disappointment. When that popped on the screen, I got more excited because I didn't know that. And it's also another thing is I only went in knowing it was based off of the Stephen King short story. I had no idea that he was involved in it, writing and directing it. So maybe I came in with a different expectation than Dan. Maybe that could have explained why our things are on polar opposite ends of that. And but yeah, essentially. I was weirdly disappointed with the lack of use of actual Wilmington, North Carolina.
Shot in Wilmington and Leland, North Carolina.
Yeah, Leland is probably where the gas station is.
Is this the only Stephen King product that didn't take place in Maine?
I mean, I don't even know where like Carrie is, but I don't know if that's. I don't think so. I mean, The Shining is not Maine.
Oh, that's Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Final thoughts, Dan?
Yeah. I was not a fan of this movie. Just a boring movie. Even as you guys were talking about, there was moments that you really enjoyed, and like the rocket launcher, and seeing a vending machine murder a man with Coke cans, which is interesting. I think there was definitely an interesting plot here. Having machines come to life is something that you can work with. I just think he took the most boring machines he could find or think of in trucks and put us in a very boring setting, a gas station, where there's more machines that could be utilized and they just weren't, or if they were shown sparingly. Obviously, this is King's probably low point creatively. Yeah, I don't know. Not for me. I wouldn't recommend.
Okay, Mark, final thoughts?
Yeah. So I would I'd recommend on the opposite end if you want to just try it out. If you are a fan of these 80s type of like really bad movies that are slightly entertaining, this should be on the list. I don't think it should be on the top of your list. I think if you are looking for a sort of movie like this around this time period, I would recommend Tremors 100% over this. But it definitely had its moments. Like the first act is very much, at least in my opinion, good entertainment and worth it to go through. But yeah, it's definitely not one of those all-time classic cult movies. Just because of the things we detailed with a slow second act. But the things in the amazing stuff that it was in the first act, and then the stuff that I found kind of hilarious because it was insane in the third act, kind of made this movie for me. And I think if you want to be sort of a completionist of these types of movies, then I would at least check it out once.
Okay. As for me, final thoughts. Yeah, top heavy. Gets all the best parts in the beginning. The last part's got the ending has some explosions, but really, I think everything that's good about this movie is really within the first half hour of it. Other than that, it's just you're stuck in one location with Emilio Estevez, and that's tough. I'd rather be stuck in a room for real life with Charlie Sheen, and that's saying something.
You're gonna have a better time.
I don't know if I will, but it'll be more interesting.
The stories would be better.
Yes. Yeah. And I might catch something. But either way, yeah. It'll be more interesting than watching Emilio Estevez cuck himself with some trucks.
Is Emilio Estevez still working?
I know he got into directing for a while.
Okay.
He did that movie like Bobby, which was about the Robert Kennedy's assassination.
Oh, that was in 2006. I'm looking at
Yeah,
IMDb
yeah,
now.
it was a while ago.
Okay.
Maybe he'll come out with Bobby 2 about RFK Jr.'s assassination.
Yeah, listen, don't give the people hope.
Anyway, yeah. That's my final thoughts of this movie. It's not bad. I think the story behind this being Stephen King's only directorial effort and him being on cocaine the entire time is also, it makes a lot of sense and is probably more interesting than this actual movie. So we're gonna take a quick break and have a third segment. Before we do take that break, Dan, what do you have for us?
Okay, guys, you know the drill. Got a couple podcasts that we would love for you to follow, support them, rate and review. First being the Top 10 with Tia. If you've been a listener of the show, you've probably heard Tia on a couple of our episodes. She's awesome, very funny. She has her own podcast called the Top 10, and it's her and her co-host Brittany just running down top 10 lists of the week. Very simple, but a great podcast. It's a lot of fun. So go to geekvibesnation.com, search the Top 10 with Tia. It'll pop right up. Last but not least, Mark Myers and our friend Tom are doing the Game Vault podcast. And that is a weekly podcast where they discuss video game news. They stream on Twitch at Game Vault Pod. They're letting you know games that are coming out, things that should be on your radar, reviewing those kind of games. Mark does a lot of work putting in for the news. He does a lot of research. So if you're a fan of video games, this is something that you should definitely check out. They're on all podcast platforms of your choosing. So please rate and review them on there. Follow all their socials at Game Vault Pod. And go check them out on Twitch at Game Vault Pod, where Mark and Tom stream old games, new games, and Mark talks about the news on there as well. So go check it out.
Okay, great. And we are going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to some ads to pay those bills, and we will be right back. And welcome back. Now it's time for our third segment, and this third segment is Supporting Cast. So we've played this game in the past. We have a list of 9 movies, and I'm going to go through supporting cast list, and I'll start with the more difficult ones and work our way down. And you guys have to guess which movie I am talking about. Mark, quick question for you.
Yes.
How well do you think you know Stephen King movies? And this is a chance to be honest.
Actors wise, probably not well, but
Okay.
I think I can sort of.
All right. So this is what I'm going to propose to you, because I feel like Dan is probably well versed in Stephen King movies. You know, he's a horror guy and all that. So I'm going to give you 2 options.
Yes.
You can either get 2 guesses per movie,
Okay.
or you will have first shot at guessing for each movie.
I like the 2 guesses.
2 guesses. Okay. So you will get 2 guesses per movie. So you'll get a chance to throw one away at the 3-point answer or what have you. Dan will only get one he's got to keep. So okay. All right.
Yep.
That's fair.
And we usually do buzzing. Give me your
I
best.
think only the really 2 popular movies that because The Thing is Stephen King, right?
It is not.
Oh, I know The Shining is, right?
Yes. I will say these are more of his well-known movies, and I will say there is 1 miniseries in this.
Why can't we get the miniseries? Because it's the one dumb one that my mom taped.
Keep that in mind. Okay, so buzz in with your best insult for a tractor trailer. You know, at the end of this movie, Emilio Estevez calls the Green Goblin like a fuckface or something like that. So buzz in with whatever you would call the Green Goblin truck or something. Okay?
Willem Dafoe.
No, that's not an insult.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's got a hog.
That's true. At least 4 tennis balls. All right.
Upsettingly large, I believe it was described as.
Upsettingly long.
Yeah, I had recently seen the Letterkenny thing, That's where I got the fourth tube with a 4 tennis ball tube.
All right. First movie. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Here's your list for 3 points. Alex Davalos, Melissa McBride, Jeffrey DeMunn.
This is why I took the 2 guesses.
So you don't have to guess. If you both pass, then we'll move on to the next one. But you'll only get
Yeah.
2 points if you get it right on this
See,
one.
the problem is I don't want to take wild guesses at movies that I believe are Stephen King movies without actually having any kind of educated guess on it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could just throw out movies every time, but I want to at least see if I can figure it out.
Sure.
Can you say Alexa Davalos and Melissa McBride were the first 2 you said, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have a good insult. Hey, pointy ears.
Okay.
Is that The Mist?
That is The Mist. All right. The 2-pointer would have been Laurie Holden and William Sadler. 1-pointer would have been Andre Braugher. And for 0 points, but bragging rights, was Thomas Jane.
Cool.
All righty. Next one. For 3 points, Michael Lombard, Stephen King, and Dale Midkiff.
I'm going to go to the next one.
Okay.
I'm going to take a shot. Hey, pointy ears.
Okay.
I don't remember if Stephen King is in this movie, but Dale Midkiff, I'm pretty sure he was in Pet Sematary. So I'm going to say Pet Sematary.
It is Pet Sematary.
Yeah. I just remember him being in Pet Sematary.
Number 2 was me.
What was Stephen King in Pet Sematary? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but he's on the cast list.
Cool.
Number 2 was Miko Hughes and Denise Crosby. And number 1 was Fred Gwynn. All right. You might want to start using those 2 guesses now.
I'll just start firing out movies.
Yeah, Mark, I'll just, how about I'll let Mark get first shot as well.
Okay. All right. Number 3 for this one. Nancy Allen, Michael Talbot, and Betty Buckley.
I always at least want to hear the next group, Dan, just to let you know. So if you know it here, feel free to answer.
Okay. I do, but I don't want to do it.
All right. I'll go to the next one. 2 is Piper Lowry and William Cott.
Yeah, I'm trying to use the names to sort of narrow down a time frame. Is it okay if I ask a clarifying question, Ant? Do you mind?
Sure.
Is this the miniseries?
This is not the miniseries.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark just so I say something and get to say my insult. Asphalt Liquor.
All right.
Is this Christine?
It is not Christine.
You're close. You were so close. Hey, pointy ears.
All right, Dan.
It's Carrie.
It is Carrie.
When he said the C, I was like, oh, he's got it.
No, like I said, I'm trying to narrow down the time frame. Like I know like the movies, but I won't know them by actor, except for the leads.
If I may,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to take my advice here.
Yeah.
Just shout out. I would, if you don't know it, just shout out a
Okay, should I just
Just
should I
take
be
that.
like the scene from Family Guy and just keep saying Jackal, but instead be Christine over?
Or, yeah, or whatever. Like,
You know what?
I'm kidding.
I'm even going to give you one better. Never say Christine.
Okay.
So think of it this way: we've crossed out The Mist, Carrie, Pet Sematary, and Christine.
See,
So
I
that-
had Christine on the brain because I thought Ant would try to tie that in with a car coming to life and the.
I was looking at Christine and I was like, good chance neither guys have seen Christine. So I'm just going to not put it on the list.
Yeah,
That
and I only
would-
know Christine by title and theme of movie. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
That would have gone. I would not have known Christine because I've seen it, but I don't know the actors' names in it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So I did try and keep these as the most popular ones. So things like, I don't even know what is not an unpopular. Firestarter is not on here, for example.
Gotcha.
All right. The 3 for the next one. Gary Riley, Bruce Kirby, Marshall Bell. Dan, unless you know this one, I'm going to go right on to 2 because I don't know who those guys are.
I don't actually.
Okay. This is number 2. Might be the easiest 2 on the list. John Cusack and Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay. Yes, I do know now.
I feel like I should know it, just but besides the fact of who it is.
Can I give him a hint?
Sure.
It's not a horror movie.
I also don't mind getting blown out in this, but
My new goal is for for Mark to get points in this game. I want to help Mark out as best I can.
Okay.
You do have a pretty substantial lead already. That's admirable.
I guess the only thing that would help me, I don't know if it's for this one, but if you do give me the heads up on which one's the miniseries, I might be able to get that.
Sure.
You're stuck on the miniseries, I think.
No, because I think I know which miniseries he chose, or hopefully I think I know. You don't have to tell me it's a miniseries, but if I ask because I'm thinking it, I will do that, and I'll be sure I'm fair with this. I'm not going to do it with everyone.
I might skip to the miniseries after this one, just so we can get it out of the way.
Okay. Dan, you can go ahead and get this one.
Hey, pointy ears.
Yep.
Stand by me.
This is Stand By Me. The 1 pointer was Jerry O'Connell. The no pointer was River Phoenix.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss is the narrator.
Yeah, we should have went. If we would have went one more, I would have actually gotten a point. But that's fine.
I'm gonna skip to the miniseries now, and this one is special because it has a 4 pointer.
Ooh!
But I will warn you, it's a 4 pointer because 3 out of these 4 people were uncredited cameos.
Okay.
All right. So the 4 point is Kathy Bates, Jeff Goldblum, Ed Harris, and Sam Raimi.
Ooh. I'm gonna let Mark. I don't know it at the moment, but Mark, go ahead if you know.
Can we go to the 3? Just
sure.
Can I just take a guess? You know what? No, that's not fair. I already told Mark he could take a guess. So go ahead.
Let me at least hear the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Ossie Davis, Ray Walston, and Matt Frewer.
Part of me is I get 2 guesses, so I'm only going to say this but I also feel you wouldn't pick the most obvious one. So let me just get that one out of the way so I can think clearly. Asphalt Liquor.
Yep.
Is this it?
It is not it.
Okay. All right.
Are we gonna let Mark hear the second?
Let me just.
Yeah, he gets.
I think Dan, when would you have known? We'll give you that amount of points.
I only know of 2 miniseries from him.
Yeah, same here.
Really? There's a lot.
I've only seen I've only seen 2.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Because I don't think it is a miniseries. I think that's a made-for-TV movie.
It's 2 parts.
It's 2 parts.
Oh, so does that count as a miniseries?
Yep.
Okay, so then I know more than 2.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to the 2. Rob Lowe and Laura San Giacomo.
All right.
From Just Shoot Me fame.
Yeah, that's why I think I know what this one is. Specifically, Asphalt Liquor.
All right.
This is The Stand.
This is The Stand.
Yeah.
And the only other miniseries that I remember.
Yeah, those are the 2 I've seen. And so I would have got, as soon as you said her name, I would have gotten those 2 points.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's Rose Red, there's Bag of Bones, Langoliers, The Shining.
Yeah. I know the Langoliers. And I know of the Shining miniseries. I've never watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so The Stand is the one that my mom taped on VHS and watched a lot.
I think People Under the Stairs, the Tommyknockers.
Ooh, the Tommyknockers. That's a bad one, I think. Langoliers was also terrible.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I feel good that I actually did get that because of the actor.
1 pointer was Gary Sinise. 0 pointer was Jamie Sheridan.
One part
Mark's
is
on the board.
The 2 and 1 point answers would have gotten me the movie better than the first one.
Is the 0?
Than the 0, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought Jamie Sheridan was our obvious because he played Randall Flagg. I actually forgot.
Probably, but I specifically remember the Just Shoot Me girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she was just very vivid in my memory of that movie.
Yeah.
But I actually forgot Gary Sinise was the lead, and I mixed him with the guy from the Langoliers, who was the lead, who I have no idea who he was, but he was just a very John Stamos-y guy, and I thought the John Stamos-y guy was the lead in The Stand.
Gotcha.
But it was Gary Sinise.
All right.
Anyway, next one.
Now you can keep stealing them at 3-point stand because...
All right, here we go. 3-pointer. Jeffrey DeMunn, James Whitmore, and Gil Bellows.
Yes, as we've been saying, it would be a minor miracle if I get it at the 3-pointer, Dan. So,
yeah, I know he was also in The Mist, but we've already covered The Mist. He was in The Walking Dead. Obviously, that's not Stephen King. Mark, I'm giving you first guess. So
okay, go to the next one then.
Okay, Bob Gunton and William Sadler.
Yeah, I'm just going to take first guess. I'm just going to throw out, because I do get a second one. The only other movie that's sort of popping in my head right now, and I don't know if it's this one. Asphalt Liquor.
Sure.
Is it The Shining?
It is not The Shining.
Okay.
Dan, do you have a guess?
I do. I think I know it. But
Okay,
Mark,
you
you get
take
2
it.
guesses. You don't want to just throw out another one.
No, because I'm trying to go through. I may have ran the gambit of Stephen King movies. I know.
Oh, no.
I believe this is also not a horror movie, if that helps.
That's correct.
Okay, Mark. Yeah, it's not a horror movie. You know, I don't know if you know his non-horror movies, Mark.
I probably wouldn't clock them as Stephen King.
Okay, so I believe, the Pomp and Circumstance, Pointy Ears.
Yep.
I believe it's The Green Mile.
It is not.
Ooh, Shawshank.
Yep.
I thought William Sadler was also in The Green Mile. I remember them both. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucked
Just
up.
give me the one pointer to see if for some reason something pops in my head.
Clancy Brown.
Oh fuck.
Would that have helped?
No, but it gives me a thing.
That's pretty good.
Um,
The way you said "oh fuck" was like, yeah, I would have known it.
No, because trying to think. I'm blanking. I just had the movie in my head that I was going to guess.
Oh, you're guessing. Dan specifically said it already.
Oh, we did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Would you have
So,
gotten
yes,
it if I
I
said
would have
Morgan?
gotten it here.
Would you have gotten it for Morgan Freeman?
I would have gotten it with Clancy Brown, but I thought Shawshank was gone because Dan just threw it out there. And
No, he said he got it wrong with The Green Mile.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Next one. Number 3. Kurt Fuller, Yaphet Kotto, and Professor Toru Tanaka. And I will say, we've covered this movie.
You got to guess, Dan? Because feel free to take it. Don't worry about me and not getting points. You don't have to because you only get one guess, obviously.
But I don't know if this is a Stephen King movie.
Do you want to hear the next ones just to be sure?
Yeah.
All right. Jim Brown, Maria Conchita Alonso.
Yeah, the first Jim Brown movie that pops in my head is definitely not a Stephen King movie.
Yeah, that's weird because I think I know it because I know what we've covered, but I don't remember. Did he write this movie, Ant, or did he? Well, he didn't direct it. He's only directed one movie. Did he write the book that it's based off of?
It is based on the novel by Richard Bachman.
Okay.
It was the pen name of Stephen King.
Oh, Mark, do you care if I go?
No,
for
go
it?
ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm curious.
Is it The Running Man?
It is The Running Man.
I did not know he wrote that.
Yep.
Wow.
I kind of forgot Jim Brown was in that movie.
Yeah, Jim Brown's in it.
Number 1 was Jesse Ventura, and 0 was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's nuts. Wow. I learned something new today.
Yeah, my brain instantly, you said Jim Brown, and my brain went, oh, Dirty Dozen. I'm like, that is definitely not a Stephen King movie.
It's a good pull, though.
Yeah.
All right. I got 2 more. For 3, we've got Jeffrey DeMunn, William Sadler, and Patricia Clarkson.
I think by
Process of elimination.
process of elimination, if Mark was paying attention.
Go ahead if you know it.
It's context clues of this actual game that we've played.
Yeah.
It leads you to the right answer.
Oh, boy. Now you're...
Dan has guessed wrong once.
Yes. If you
Yes.
remember what I guessed wrong.
Asphalt Liquor.
Yep.
Is this The Green Mile?
This is The Green Mile.
So William Sadler was in The Green Mile. I wasn't wrong about that. Okay. I just got my prison movies mixed up.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Was 0 Michael Clark Duncan?
It was. 2 was Graham Greene and Harry Dean Stanton. 1 was Sam Rockwell. And 0 was Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I would have gotten it if we went to 1. But that's because it would have clicked. I would have been like, this sounds like The Green Mile.
Mm-hmm. And this one I feel like Dan's going to get on the first 3.
And you can take it if you know immediately.
Okay.
I would also, if he gets this immediately, like to know what the other ones were, like you've been doing.
Yeah. I feel like this might be the one that Mark hasn't seen. So
Okay.
3 is Bruce Greenwood, Alexandra Esso, and Robert Longstreet.
Say the names again. I'm sorry.
Bruce Greenwood, Alexandra Esso, and Robert Longstreet.
Also going by process of elimination here. None of them were in The Shining. So that leads me to believe the only other popular Stephen King project. Mark, do you want to take a guess?
No.
I think I know it, and I'm just going off context clues. But I believe Hey, pointy ears.
Sure.
This is it.
It is not it.
Oh, no way.
It is not it.
Oh shit.
Oh, Mark's got the clear field right now.
Yeah, give me the next two, and then there's only one movie that I don't even know is a Stephen King movie that's in my head.
Okay, the two is Jacob Tremblay and Henry Thomas.
Hold on. All right, well, no, go ahead, but I have a bone to pick with you because I know what it is now.
The one movie that popped in my head was Asphalt Liquor.
What's that?
Is Body Snatchers one of his?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers? No.
Snatchers?
I think you're thinking Tommy Knockers.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what it was, though.
All right. Number 1, Rebecca Ferguson.
Damn it.
Can you just give me 0? Because I want to see if I can actually get it.
Dan, who's 0?
0 would be Ewan McGregor.
Oh, no, actually. You can go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm not going to answer that because Anthony he led me astray on this one. Because that's not Stephen King. That's his son who wrote Dr. Sleep.
Writers, Mike Flanagan and Stephen King.
But I thought his son wrote it. The book.
Writers, I'm looking at it here. Writers, Mike Flanagan, Stephen King. Novel, Stephen King.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look that up. Hold on.
You're thinking Joe Hill, right? That's his son?
Yeah.
I think he wrote Nosferatu. Like NOS482, whatever. Yeah.
I could have sworn that was him. Okay. Well, listen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. And you said
his son looks just like him. I've never seen a picture of Joe Hill before.
They're very close, right?
Yeah.
They have like the same kind of chin and everything.
Yeah.
I will admit I had completely forgotten about Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep's a good one. I wasn't thinking of it because I thought his son wrote it.
And that's not my fault.
No, it's not.
You're right. Tell it walking.
But Tommy Knockers is the one where they like take over bodies, right?
I actually
or
don't
something
know what
like
Tommy
that.
Knockers is about.
I always thought he had a movie about people like body takeover or something.
Yeah, I guess I'm not seeing Dr. Sleep on here. Well, listen, egg on my face.
You still won.
I did, but I wanted to crush him. No,
you really tried hard not to. You tried hard not to.
Stephen King. Did Mark? You said you gave me every opportunity.
No, every time I was like, Dan, you can take this. Like,
oh, gotcha. Okay.
And you're like, no, we'll let it go to see if you can get it.
No,
you said you wanted to crush me.
Yeah,
and I said I gave you every opportunity.
I didn't want to crush you. I'm just being a pissy bitch right now because I was like, oh, I'm so sure. I know exactly what this is, and then it just came back and bit me. Yeah, Stephen King, Dr. Sleep. Well, there you go. There you have it, folks.
Mm-hmm. Trying to tell me that I fucked you over.
I don't know where I saw that he wrote the book.
And I was like, wait, because I was just like, I Google Stephen King movies, and it popped up just to be sure.
And I love that movie too. That movie, we watch that every year since it's come out. And Rebecca Ferguson, my goodness,
she's a good-looking woman.
She is, yes,
especially in that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say she could do what she does to me.
She could harvest my organs,
my essence, my shining, I guess. Right? They suck the shining out of the people.
Yeah.
Lucky Jacob Tremblay. All right.
And say, funny thing about my shining jewels is it happens to be on my cock.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson. She's A-okay in my book.
All right. Well, that is our episode. And this movie was Maximum Overdrive, the Stephen King classic. Check us out on all our socials. We're on Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram. I think those are the Threads. Did I say Threads? I did it at least once.
At the beginning.
TCTAM Pod. That's where you can find us. And we're on TikTok at They Called Some Movie. You can check us out on Gmail. Shoot us an email over at Gmail. TicTampod@gmail.com. tell us all how great we are and suggest some movies to us. How about that? Check us out on YouTube as well. Just look for They Called Us a Movie. And yeah, those are all the places you could get a hold of us. The director, as we mentioned, for Maximum Overdrive is Stephen King. So for Dan Aquino and Mark Myers, this is Anthony Delvecchio telling Stephen King, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you? Thanks for listening to They Called Us a Movie. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at TCTAM Pod. That's TCTAM Pod. You can also check us out on TikTok at They Called Us a Movie.